Don't call it panic training, but it's 1 week until Fred Whitton. Apparently the UK's toughest sportive, so we're out today trying to find as many steep climbs in the Cotswolds as we can for a bit of last minute training. Is it too late to train a week away?
I think you're finessing, aren't you?
Finessing, yes, fine tuning in the legs and the engine. We also need to talk about bike setup and preparing my bike for the event as well, and a choice new upgrade for my bike, but more on that later in the video. First, back to the hills. So James, you've done a Fred Whitton before?
Once.
Any tips?
Well, there's all the usual ones about long sportives, and I'm sure you've done many before about pacing it and making sure you keep eating, but it's even more on the Fred because it's so steep, you're just working harder. I guess keep an eye on your calorie meter, because we're all riding power meters, so it should be quite accurate. And you don't really want to be going harder than burning about 700 calories an hour, because you can't digest and replace it, and the harder you work, more blood goes to your legs, less to your stomach, so you get this double whammy if you go too hard at the start of burning too much and not getting enough back in. So just make sure you're eating and you're giving yourself the opportunity to digest it. And I guess specifics to the Fred, it's such a great atmosphere. Second half of the ride, before Hard Knock, you're going over all these gentle passes to get there, and all the locals come out and support you.
Wow.
And there's lots of unofficial feed stations, so you can get water, food, there's people with Mars bars and sweets and that sort of thing, just handing them out. I guess they must buy them themselves.
Sounds good.
Right here.
What's the steepest segment climb bit of Hard Knocks to worry about?
I think it's sort of on the hairpin bends, it's probably 30, maybe even 35 if you really take it tight around the corners, but it's just relentless. It's not like the climbs around here where you get steep sections for maybe a minute or so. It's a 15-minute climb.
You're just going to do lots of them instead.
Have you got anything good to say at all?
You get a pie and chips at the end.
Are you feeling more ready for next weekend now?
I was just saying to Chris, I feel a lot better having done this than I did 2 weeks ago, which I'm going to regret saying next weekend.
Yeah, I don't feel great right now, but hopefully some good recovery. Hopefully it'll pay off next weekend. It has to, right?
This is going to top us off, right? And we'll all be flying by next weekend.
So have you done a Fred Whitton before, the first time as well?
This will be my Fred Whitton first.
Are you nervous, excited?
Mainly excited. I am nervous, but the excitement definitely outweighs the nerves.
Yeah, I think it should be a good day, hopefully. If it all goes smoothly, the weather's good.
I just want weather like this, then it'd be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's absolutely glorious today, isn't it?
Just no damp roads, no wind.
No snow.
Well, snow would definitely not be on my...
So you guys have got a target, of course, now. Sub 7 hours.
7 hours? Yeah,
So
whatever.
I think, to be fair, from what I've seen today, I think you should smash it. Just obviously pacing yourselves. Hopefully no mechanicals. Oh, that was me today. So I think you should be fine, you know. Key thing though is just enjoy it. It is one of the best events in the UK for sure. And the atmosphere is fantastic, so enjoy it, boys.
So that was a jolly nice ride, fantastic weather, great company, and some fairly brutal climbs, it has to be said. And while the Cotswolds isn't great with the longest climbs in the world, it definitely has some very steep gradients. I was in my lowest gear most of the time. So now let's talk about bike preparation and the changes I'm making to my bike ready for the weekend. So firstly, I'm back on the NV 45 wheels with the Pirelli tyres that I really rate. And I've made one change, and that is to fit this brand new Silka Ultimate Tuber Sealant to the tyres. And once I've used it for a few weeks, I've ridden the bike for a few weeks, I'll do some puncture testing back here in the garage and see whether it really is as ultimate as they say it is. So that one change, because I want to minimise any risk of a puncture in that event. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will work. So that one change. So my chain was getting a little bit worn, so I fitted a new chain and taken this as an opportunity to try this brand new, well not so brand new, but fairly recently introduced Super Secret chain lube from Silka. This is claimed to offer the benefits of a hot wax treatment, which you might be aware of. It's a process where you take the chain off, clean it really well, immerse it in this basically tank of hot wax, and then put it back on the bike. But that's way too much faff for me. This is claimed to offer the benefits of that, but in a normal lube bottle, so you drip it onto the chain like normal. So I've read good things about it. Hopefully this will keep my chain running nice and smooth and quiet, a bit more efficiency, and prolong the life of the chain as well. So I'll keep you updated on how I get on with that. Fairly expensive, but if it lives up to the claims, it should work out in the long run. So last weekend I did a big Audax, a 300k Audax you might have seen in my social media, and the bottom bracket started creaking a bit, and I've gone all out and bought a ceramic speed bottom bracket. A very splendid choice, it has to be said. All the pros in the pro peloton use these, so I'm really keen to see whether these are worth the quite big price tag they command. So I'm going to fit this myself, and that'll be the bike all set up and ready. Now, when it comes to fitting bottom brackets or changing headset bearings, I do recommend going to a bike shop or find a good mechanic like Jim from Jim the Bike Guy. But I've done this myself a few times, so I have some basic tools, and it isn't that difficult. It's not quite as easy as a threaded bottom bracket, it has to be said, but the principle is fairly basic. But if you're not confident, you're not sure, definitely find a good bike mechanic or a bike shop to do it for you, especially when you're dealing with expensive parts like this and this frame. But I do have Jim on speed dial just in case it doesn't go very well, but fingers crossed it will. So get it fitted, and then the bike will be nice and set up, ready for the Fred Whitton. Good time to give the bottom bracket area a clean as well, get rid of any old dirt, grime, oil, grease, bit of road grime around there. Just give it a bit of a general inspection. All looks nice and clean, can't see any issues there at all. Looks nice and round as well, so all good, ready for the new bottom bracket. Always good to check the instructions, and in here they say to go to their website and find a YouTube video, follow what he says really carefully and make sure you install that bottom bracket as per the instructions rather than just dive in there head first and make a mess of it. So the guide says to put some grease supplied in a little sachet onto the surface of the shells before pressing them into the frame, and then using the press assembly tool here to pull the cups into the frame. So nice and straightforward. And that was a piece of cake. So the cups went in really smoothly. No issue at all, didn't require much force. Just wipe off the excess grease, give it a clean up, and inspect your handiwork. Oh my goodness me, they feel so smooth, silky. That is buttery smooth. And that sticker is really what it's all about, isn't it? To let people know you have an expensive bottom bracket. But it does feel really good. So hopefully that helped me in the Fred Whitton. A few watts saved, hopefully. So I've done as much training as I can do. I've got a fit as I'm likely to get. And the bike is all prepped, tyres, drivetrain, bottom bracket. So now it's just a case of resting, sleeping, and making sure I eat healthily in the day leading up to the event. So this time next weekend, I'll be suffering up the famous climbs of the Fred Whitton. And do stay tuned for a bit of an event roundup. I try and do some filming during the event to let you know what it's like from my perspective. Anyway, that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all again very soon.